What's up, everybody? Mystery Wheel Gunner back here with you again. The weather has cleared up. I'm able to go to the range today, but first, time now for another episode of The Trigger Snob with your host, The Trigger Snob. That's right, I forgot to do trigger snobbery in the tabletop overview of the Desert Eagle, so we're gonna do that real quick. No magazine. Chamber is empty. And as you can tell, yes, I put an optic on here. I had this thing laying around. I figure, hey, might as well use it. I've got the rail. So the Desert Eagle is a single action only gun, kind of like a 1911. The safety is flip-flopped though. So on a 1911, down is fire. On the Desert Eagle, down is safe. Down disables the trigger. Up is going to be fire. So, how is the trigger on this thing? Surprisingly, not as good as you'd think from a single action gun. When we say single action, we normally expect something like a semi-tuned 1911 trigger. I mean, if you get a 1911 from like, World War I, World War II, if you get a bare bones basic CMP gun, 1911, yeah, it's not going to have the greatest trigger. But in the modern world of 1911s, if you get a modern, let's say what is it, the 1911 A1, whatever, the basic one from Colt you can get nowadays. That one has like, I guess what you would call a semi-tuned trigger. It's not going to be as rough as the GI trigger. Anyway, generally speaking, most 1911s, unless they're bare bones basic, have a pretty good trigger. It's single action. There's not a whole lot going on there. And you'd think you'd get the same feel from this. And unfortunately, nah, there's a lot of creep. See all the movement I can get? And the trigger's not even going off. There's a lot of creep and the sponginess. Once you get to that tension point, see that? Even once you get there, creep, 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 and then bang. Now, it is a fairly heavy trigger, but I gotta admit, you don't really notice it. You only notice it when you're doing this, the trigger snobbery. When you're actually like, just pulling it normal, it doesn't feel as heavy. But it kind of fits the gun. I know that sounds kind of weird, but good Lord, this is such a big, hefty gun. It almost seems okay for it to have this heavy, creepy trigger. So now, in the gun's defense, all right, this was never marketed as a competition gun. I mean, who's going to take this thing to Steel Challenge, right? Who's going to take this thing to IPSC? That'd be hilarious if they did, but no one's going to do that, okay? It was never built as a gun that's built for competition. This is not a race gun, okay? This is not this is not an F1 car, okay? This in the gun world, all right. The staccato would be like the F1 car. This is like the monster truck, okay? So different kind of high performance. So anyway, yeah, not the greatest trigger, but in a gun of this type, perfectly suitable. Alrighty, finally got some time to come out here to the range. Gonna be the first shots out of the big Desert Eagle in 50 AE. Got an optic on here. Obviously I will have to zero it, but let me go ahead and take the first shots out of it and let's see where that optic is pointing. All right, here we go. First shots. Oh, that's a nice sound, huh? Put it on safe. Here we go. Okay, so I did not hit the steel. Gonna have to put up some paper targets to see where it's hitting. Okay, it is October, the month of one of my favorite holidays, Halloween. So we're going to do a Halloween challenge featuring the movie Halloween, specifically Halloween Kills, which came out in 2018. So here's Michael Myers. His face is here just for demonstration purposes. I won't be shooting at his head. I will be shooting center mass because that's what we're taught, right? Go center mass, and that is represented by this plate. I will be starting off in this chair. This represents my car seat. So I'll be recreating the scene where Michael attacks a group of people in a car. One of the characters, Vanessa, has a Desert Eagle. Now hers is in 357 Magnum, not in 50 AE. That is according to IMFDB. And I am inclined to believe IMFDB because if you look at this screen grab, Vanessa's gun, look at the bore of her Desert Eagle. That doesn't look like a 50 AE bore. That looks like a 357 Magnum bore. Anyway, in this particular scene, let me wipe that bug off there because that's where I'll be sitting. In this scene, she initially flees to get away from Michael, but then she returns with her Desert Eagle and she puts some shots towards him. Unfortunately, she's a poor shot. She doesn't even get one hit on Michael, so yeah. She did not go to the same training school as Dr. Loomis. Loomis was a heck of a shot. And anyway, unfortunately, Vanessa joins Michael's list of victims. Kind of sad that, someone with the Desert Eagle can't shoot better. Anyway, let's see if I can do better than Vanessa. I'll be starting off without the DE in my hand because I don't want to break this range's 180 rule. So the DE will actually be waiting down there for me. So I got to run back there, pick it up, and then I've got 4 shots in my mag because I think that's how many rounds Vanessa got off before she got, smoked. All right, so let's see if I can stay alive against Michael Myers. So looking at the scene over there through the camera, wow, the sun is really washing out where Michael is, but hopefully we can hear the sound of the steel and see the steel swing if I do hit it. All right, Michael, get you some 50. Clean sweep. And it locked open. I don't know if you saw, but what was up with the leaves? You see that? I don't know. Is that the concussion from the 50? Rustling the leaves on the ground? That's pretty impressive. Anyway, all right, I did better than Vanessa. Went 4 out of 4 on Michael, even after making that run, which kind of elevated my heart rate a little bit. Not sure if that's quite the same adrenaline rush you'd have if, I don't think it's the same fight or flight you'd have if someone was trying to kill you. But anyway, yeah. Did better than Vanessa. I'm happy with that. All right, the sun went down behind some trees. The scenery is not as washed out down there, so you know what? I'm gonna redo the challenge.